Yehovah Eloheinu Svaot, Kadosh, 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 please lead me with the Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name. Amen. We'll start with the Shema, listen and obey. Children of Yehovah, pay careful attention and respond. Yehovah is our power and authority. Yehovah works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love to Yehovah with your power and authority, with your thoughts in mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hand, behold, nail, behold. Deuteronomy 24. Suppose a man marries a woman and consummates the marriage, but later finds her displeasing because he has found her offensive in some respect. He writes her a divorce document, gives it to her, and sends her away from his house. She leaves his house and goes and becomes another man's wife. But the second husband dislikes her and writes her a get, gives it to her, and sends her away from his house. Or the second husband whom she marries dies. In such a case, her first husband who sent her away may not take her again as his wife, because she is now defiled. It would be detestable to Yehovah, and you are not to bring about sin in the land of Yehovah your God is giving you as your inheritance. If a man has recently married his wife, he is not to be subject to military service. He is to be free of external obligations and left at home for 1 year to make his new wife happy. No one may take a mill or even an upper millstone as collateral for a loan, because that would be taking as collateral the debtor's very means of sustenance. If a man kidnaps any of his brothers, fellow members of the community of Israel, and makes him his slave or sells him, that kidnapper must die. In this way, you must put an end to such wickedness among you. When there is an outbreak of Sirat, be careful to observe and do just what the Kohanim, who are the Levi'im, teach you. Take care to do as I ordered them. Remember what Yehovah your God did to Miriam on the road after you left Egypt. When you make any kind of loan to your neighbor, you are not to enter his house or take collateral. You must stand outside, and the borrower will bring the collateral outside to you. If he is poor, you are not to go to bed. You are not to go to bed with what he gave as collateral in your possession. Rather, you must restore the pledged item at sunset. Then he will go to sleep wearing his garment and bless you. This will be an upright deed of yours before Yehovah your God. You are not to exploit a hired worker who is poor and needy, whether one of your brothers or a foreigner living in your land or your town. You are to pay him his wages the day he earns them, before sunset, for he is poor and looks forward to being paid. Otherwise, he will cry out against you to Yehovah, and it will be your sin. Fathers are not to be executed for their children, nor the children be executed for their fathers. Every person will be executed for his own sin. You are not to deprive the foreigner or the orphan of the justice which is due him, and you are not to take a widow's clothing as collateral for loan. Rather, remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and at Yehovah your God redeemed you from there. That is why I am ordering you to do this. When harvesting the grain in your field, if you forget a sheaf of grain there, you are not to go back and get it. It will remain there for the foreigner, the orphan, and the widow, so that Yehovah your God will bless you in all your work you do. When you beat your olive tree, you are not to go back over the branches again. The olives that are left will be for the foreigner, the orphan, and the widow. When you gather the grapes from your vineyard, you are not to return and pick grapes a second time. What is left will be for the foreigner, the orphan, and the widow. Remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. That is why I'm ordering you to do this. How can we learn to love our Creator after reading this 24th chapter of Deuteronomy? We can marry and love, proving this to your spouse for life. Ask Yehovah for forgiveness, grace, and mercy. Aim to be holy, set apart to Yehovah. Aim to bring glory to Yehovah. Aim to make your wife happy. Trust that Yehovah is Elohim of miracles. Pay your workers well. Seek justice from Yehovah, our Elohim. Aim to proclaim that Yehovah is our Redeemer. Aim to obey the orders of Yehovah. Keep the foreigner, the orphan, and the widow always in the front of your mind. Obey Yehovah, and he will bless you. Humble yourself before Yehovah. How can we love others as Yeshua loves us? We can marry and love your spouse and aim to make them happy. Bear one another's burdens. We can take care of the orphan, the widows, and the foreigners. Produce spiritual fruit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, self-control. We'll end with the Aaronic blessing using the name. Yehovah will kneel before you presenting gifts. He will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yehovah will illuminate the wholeness of his being toward you, bringing order, and he will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehovah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you and will set in place all you need to be whole and complete.